let's talk about the plastic people. Hello everyone, I'm Sarah from Everyday Starlet. Welcome to my channel. I make videos to inspire you to be the star of your own life. Today I want to talk about the normalization of plastic surgery among young girls in our society. It's a heavy topic and I have discussed this topic in a few other videos. I mentioned this extensively in my video that I did about Megan Fox. I've mentioned this in terms of Kylie Jenner in a few other videos and things like that. So I have some other videos on this topic, but this subject has reemerged again, and so I kind of wanted to touch on it again. I do think that this normalization of plastic surgery is reaching women and girls even younger. And I think it's getting worse. And one of the reasons why I think this is a topic of discussion again is because there is an influencer, Brooke Schofield, I think is how you say her name. I don't really follow her content. I only know who she is briefly, and that is not a knock on her by any means. It's just I think she's like, her target audience is a little bit younger than I am. Apparently Brooke made a video talking about some plastic surgery that she wants to get, and she got attacked by a lot of people. She kind of clapped back with the idea, and I've heard a lot of celebrities talk about this. Brooke clapped back with the idea that, you know, you get mad when celebrities don't disclose plastic surgery, but then when they do disclose plastic surgery, you criticize them for that. It's like we can't win. It's almost as if there's no other option. It's almost as if the idea of not getting plastic surgery and mutilating your body never enters these girls' minds, which I honestly find heartbreaking, especially as somebody who is older and kind of been there, done that, seen that as far as like beauty trends and, you know, body trends in women, which I'm sorry, can we please stop making women's bodies a trend? But apparently, as I've discovered when I actually tried calling that out on TikTok recently, I realized apparently we as a society are not ready to stop treating women's bodies like a trend, which is really sad. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I mentioned this in my Megan Fox video, but I do feel like that's a very common celebrity go-to is, well, you don't like it when we don't disclose our surgeries, but then you don't like it when we do disclose our surgeries. And it's like, actually what we want is for you to stop having surgeries and stop perpetuating this beauty standard that can literally only be achieved on the operating table. And I do think that it's gradually gotten worse over time. I think the original idea behind plastic surgery was for people who did not feel like they were natural beauties to look like they were natural beauties. That's kind of gone out the window at this point. I'm at the point now where like I can spot a nose job a mile away. I think it used to be that you could look at a woman and not necessarily know if she had a nose job most of the time, provided she had a decent nose job. Most celebrities wouldn't have known she had a nose job unless, you know, you happened to see a picture of her pre-nose job, because the nose would typically look generally natural. It was kind of a coincidence that it seemed like all famous women, or all women who were considered beautiful, all had very similar noses, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like an obvious thing. It has gotten so bad to the point where like I'm on social media and I can be scrolling and it's like I can spot the nose job a mile away. These girls are not even going for like a natural human nose. Some of them are actually going for like elf noses or something. It's weird. Again, when I talk about plastic surgery, I want to make it clear I'm not talking about like medically necessary plastic surgery, like if you have a cleft palate or if you have some kind of like a deviated septum or breathing obstruction or something like that, like or you know, you've been in an accident or illness or something and you need some kind of reconstructive surgery to improve your quality of life. And no, I don't believe that just being self-conscious about your nose and getting a nose job actually improves your quality of life, or just getting implants or a BBL or something. I don't believe that actually qualifies. But I do want to state that when I talk about these kind of plastic surgeries, I'm excluding people that like actually needed them for, you know, a medical necessity. And I also will stand by, I think it should be illegal to perform any plastic surgeries that aren't for an absolute medical necessity before a woman is 18, and that's even pushing it. I think probably 25 is probably more appropriate. And I think what we're seeing with a lot of these, like the influencers, I think when it comes to celebrities and celebrity culture, it's so normalized because you're literally going to be, I mean, you tend to, when you're a celebrity or you're trying to get into Hollywood, so to speak, you're not really necessarily making these choices. You have people in the industry making these choices for you. But as far as influencers go, I think a lot of instances of these influencers that are getting all these surgeries, I think it's an instance of, you know, when young girls get access to too much money too young, they don't always make the best choices with that. And when I say that, I say because it's typically young girls that are getting these surgeries. I'm not saying that young boys that get access to a lot of money always make good choices with them. They absolutely can make horrible choices if they get access to too much money too young. It's just plastic surgery doesn't tend to be the bad choice. When it comes to the plastic surgery decision, that tends to be more of a female bad decision than a male bad decision. Young boys have their own set of mistakes that they make. So I don't want this to sound like I'm just criticizing young girls or saying that young women shouldn't get money, but young boys should. I think young people getting access to a lot of money and not having guidance around it can be a disaster either way. But I think a lot of these influencers, Brooke Schofield and, you know, a lot of these young influencers get all of this plastic surgery because they get access to so much money so young. And like, I'm gonna be honest with you, even like I was a little bit older when I started getting into the online space and stuff, because when I was a young girl, this stuff didn't exist. So I was a little bit older and I had gone through and dealt with a lot of my body image issues and stuff. But I can tell you, I first started on YouTube, which was like probably a good 10 years ago, even more than 10 years ago. If you're actually like filming and editing your own stuff and you're sitting there and you're constantly looking at video of yourself or looking at photos of yourself, you can absolutely start picking yourself apart. There's things that I would notice about myself while I was editing. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know my face did that. Oh my God, why is, and again, it's stuff that like a normal average person would never know about themselves and never care about, because it's just not something that they don't sit there all day and stare at their own face, which there is something inherently kind of crazy about sitting there and staring at yourself constantly. And you're much more likely to start picking apart things that you don't like about yourself. Because I was older and because I had dealt with a lot of body image issues, and I mean, I still have a long way to go, but like I've dealt with a lot of those things, and I was older and more mature when I came to doing this, I was better able to handle that and not jump to, oh my God, how do I just like cut my face open and start rearranging things. If I was a very young girl, you know, in this space with the world today, I could definitely see where I would get caught up in this obsession with plastic surgery. I don't know if I'd actually do it because I'm terrified of anything medical, but like I could see where the desire would be there. And you know, honestly, there are a lot of studies that show that women are a horrible judge of their own appearance. Women actually think of themselves as being much less attractive than they are, despite what the manosphere tries to feed to you. Generally speaking, women's self-esteem, especially around their appearance, is usually just horrible overall. They actually have done studies that show that for adolescent girls, when women are kind of going through adolescence and their bodies are changing and shifting and stuff, body dysmorphia affects 100% of adolescent girls. So what you have are very young women who are already trying to figure out their bodies themselves, you know, their looks, and you know, trying to find themselves attractive. They're much more likely to compare themselves to images that they see in the media and social media. Many of those images, which are, you know, women who are surgically altered, and then also not just that, but also filtered, photoshopped, altered in some way, as well as now a lot of AI images and things like that. So you have all these young girls that are exposed to these images. It's no wonder that if some of them actually get enough money and access to plastic surgery, why they would start diving into that in a desperate attempt to be seen as beautiful. Because honestly, as women, most of us just truly deeply want to be seen as beautiful. And on a surface level, it's just our surface beauty. I do believe that most of us as women want to be seen as beautiful, not just on the surface, but deeper than that. But for many of us women, just the desire to be seen as beautiful on the surface feels like such a huge leap, because most of us struggle with that so much that, I mean, the idea of someone seeing us as beautiful deeper than that is kind of beyond a lot of our mentalities, especially at a young age. So I can totally understand why these young girls would get caught up in doing this plastic surgery. Do I agree that celebrities should be upfront about the plastic surgery they get? Yes. Because it sets a completely ridiculous beauty standard. And I've mentioned this in a few other videos, but as someone who has chased celebrity bodies for so long, I don't mean like physically, like I haven't stalked them or anything, but I mean like desperately tried to do everything with diet, exercise, everything to try to get my body to look like whatever celebrity was in, and fought it so hard, and then couldn't figure out like why I couldn't get their results. Even if I was doing all the things that they claimed that they were doing, I couldn't look like them. Now, some of it's genetics. We started out in different places. Our bodies are just designed to look differently. But also too, most celebrities are getting plastic surgery and they're actually altering their body so that, you know, diet and fitness is not getting them the body that they have. Do they work out and do they eat well? Yeah, Probably. Maybe some of them do, maybe some of them don't. But like, they're not getting that body just with diet and exercise. They're getting it with plastic surgery. And one of the problems with that is that when people try to emulate that and they realize that they cannot get there through diet and exercise, even if they're doing all the right things, people get discouraged and they just throw in the towel. They're like, well, why even try if I can't look like this? When at the end of the day, like, you shouldn't be eating well and working out to look like someone else anyway. You should be doing it for your health and to better yourself. It should never be about trying to emulate someone else's look, because that person is not you. The more you keep chasing a look instead of just trying to be healthy, it's gonna send you down this terrible cycle of like getting motivated to look a certain way, and then when you don't achieve that, because even if you do get to like that weight or that size, it's never gonna feel like enough for you. You're gonna get discouraged, you're gonna throw it all away, and then you're gonna cycle back. You're probably gonna gain weight back, you're gonna get more out of shape or something, and then you'll try to chase it again. Chasing a look or an image is a losing battle. Like, you really should be pursuing health. You have to, or else you're just gonna end up discouraged. So I do have a problem with celebrities not disclosing their surgeries, because I think that's damaging enough. On the flip side though, the argument that like, okay, well, when a celebrity does disclose their surgeries, everybody attacks them. It's because we don't want you to normalize surgeries. We don't want the surgeries to happen. We normalize fake bodies. And yes, surgery did used to be a way of women who did not feel naturally beautiful trying to look naturally beautiful. That is not what surgeries are anymore. They're literally women that are trying to create this completely artificial look. I know people are gonna come to me in the comments like, no, some women have these bodies naturally. Fake boobs don't look like real boobs. They don't. They do not. Someone could get implants the same size and the same, I don't know, whatever shape, or I don't know how you do them really, as me. They're not gonna look like mine, because mine are real and the fake ones look different. Okay, you can't put silicone sacs in someone and expect it to look like real boobs. It just doesn't happen. BBLs. Can some of them look somewhat natural? Yeah, maybe. But let's be real. If you see a woman with a waist the size of a toothpick and then like this giant rear end on her and then 2 toothpicks for legs, I'm gonna take a guess it's probably not nature. Now, can women have a naturally slim waist and naturally wider hips and a natural like kind of pear shape to her? Absolutely. But when I get women that come to me, no, I have a natural BBL kind of body, I'm willing to bet you don't. I'm willing to bet you just happen to be pear shaped, and your hips and your butt and your thighs and your legs and everything are probably very proportional and structured that way. I remember for so many years when I was growing up, there was this idea that women were so self-conscious about the fact that even the thinnest women would sit and you'd get like a roll in your stomach. And there was like this obsession with like, oh my God, when can I lose enough weight so I don't get that roll? You're supposed to get a roll because that's literally your waist bending. Even at your thinnest, as a woman, if you still have enough body fat on you to survive, you probably are gonna get a roll in your waist, because that's what your human body was meant to do. That's just a bend in your waist. So many women would get so obsessed. And I even remember like, even at my thinnest, I posted a picture of myself. This was back when Instagram was such that I could post a picture. It was implied nudity, it was not actually naked, but I was showing my body and you could see my side and you could see a slight roll in my stomach. I was as thin as I think I could safely get until I got underweight. People were like, you're so brave for showing your roll, you're so brave for that. And it's like, that shouldn't be considered brave. That's literally how the human body is meant to bend. Now, I see so many girls that when they sit, they don't have that. That's lipo. That's lipo, and their skin and their bodies are constricted so much and everything is tightened up so much that they don't even actually, like, their bodies don't have a natural bend in them anymore, so that when they actually sit, their body doesn't even do what a human body would do when it sits. It's like these women look like they're wearing a corset, but it's their skin. That's really creepy. It's creepy because that's not what the human body was intended to do. I know there's a lot of reasons why women get plastic surgery. I will say right now, I know a lot of women get really upset when you say that women get plastic surgery for male validation, because I do think that there are various reasons why women get plastic surgery, and male validation is one of the possibilities. But if you are getting plastic surgery to enhance certain sexual aspects of your body, it's hard to make the argument that you're not doing it for male validation. Just saying. Nature designed us to want to mate. Nature designed men to be attracted to a woman's natural physique, and that's what he would be attracted enough to want to mate with her in order to create more people, because like we literally as primal beings are designed to want to mate to continue on the population. I mean, that's a very primal level. I realize as humans we're much more complex than that. Nature would not have designed women to have like a natural fold in their waist, to have a natural level of body fat, for women to have a natural state of, you know, some women having wider hips and some women having wider shoulders and some women having, you know, whatever. If that was going to be so repulsive to men that they wouldn't want to mate with us. And honestly, if you exist right now, like if you exist with the combination of all the DNA and genetics in your system, and you exist right now, and for centuries all this plastic surgery was not even a thing, then that means, do you have any idea how many people had to find each other attractive enough to mate and reproduce in order to make you in your natural state? So you can't be that disgusting in your natural state for that to be possible, because if you were just so horrifically hideous in your natural state, your DNA probably would have been wiped out of the population a long time ago. Just saying. Nature didn't design it so that, like, you know, women in their natural body state would be so unappealing to men that like all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's have God create plastic surgeons so we can fix all the mistakes that I made that men are obviously not attracted to. I have a video talking about porn culture and body image. I do want to state that most of the beauty standards we're seeing right now are absolutely influenced by porn culture. It's porn with a capital P. I stand by the fact that, you know, the average age that boys start watching it is age 11. If all the pornography that boys were exposed to when they were children was all just like of obese women with mustaches, that's who men would be sexually attracted to. They've just been conditioned to be sexually attracted to the women that are in porn, which tend to be artificial women, or in some cases women that are excessively thin because of drug issues and things, are women that are excessively thin because they're trying to look like non-adults, and in some cases they are non-adults. That's a whole other conversation. But it's conditioning men to be attracted to women who look a certain way. I firmly believe that the normalization of plastic surgery in women is actually part of a bigger plan, especially the conditioning that is happening with, I mean, I'm gonna put on my conspiracy theory hat for a second right now and just say that I absolutely believe that the porn industry is so easily accessible and introduced to boys at such a young age because it weakens boys and in turn weakens men. It stunts their sexuality so that they never actually evolve to being attracted to grown adult women, because when you're an 11-year-old, being attracted to a teenage girl is totally normal. But if you get stunted in that and then you get to be a 50-year-old guy and you like literally have not moved past that, you have a problem. But it conditions men to find these artificial women to be attractive. The normalization of plastic surgery and also filters and things like that, I absolutely firmly believe it is conditioning men to be attracted to artificial women, and it's conditioning women to basically make themselves into plastic sex dolls. I mean, that's basically what we're doing right now at this point. Like, the women that are getting all this plastic surgery are making themselves into plastic sex dolls. And it's normalizing AI, it's normalizing fake women. I mean, I know I go after Kylie Jenner a lot in my videos because she really bugs me. None of her is real. Like, everything about her is fake. Like, she's completely fake from head to toe. And when she becomes the beauty standard, you're basically looking at like a sex toy robotic doll. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, I'm sorry, I see Timothy Chalamet walking her on red carpets and I'm like, so he just decided to bring a sex doll to a red carpet. Like, how embarrassing for him. Like, it's just because she's not real. She's not a real person anymore. She's literally fake from head to toe. And I know I'm harder on Kylie than I am on some other celebrities. I've said this in other videos, but I will talk about this again. I actually think that Kylie Jenner is worse than Kim, and I'll tell you why. Because while I think that they both are completely fake and artificial, and I think they both have done a lot of damage to the beauty standard and things like that, as far as like putting a fake image as the beauty standard, I'm Kim's age. Kim Kardashian and I are the same age. I remember when Kim got famous. And are there young girls, like girls who were underage, who looked up to Kim and who were affected by the beauty standard that Kim set? Yes. Absolutely. But Kim's target audience was always women her age, like my age and around that age range. And we were adults when the Kardashians got famous. Kim was young. She wasn't underage. She wasn't a child. And her audience was adult women. Young adult women, but adult women. And while we as women at any age can be very susceptible to insecurities and beauty trends and beauty standards and things like that at any age, adult women are less susceptible than children. Kylie got famous as a child and her audience was children. And normally I would not hold somebody like Kylie at her age as a child as accountable as the parents. My issue with Kylie is she does not show remorse, at least not true remorse, for what she's done now that she's an adult. Honestly, if Kylie actually did show remorse for how damaging her influence was on underage girls, and I'm talking like actual damage, like there were people going to hospitals trying to emulate Kylie's lips. BBLs are one of the most dangerous plastic surgery procedures. People can die from them. And the fact that the closest thing that we have gotten to Kylie showing any remorse is her feeling bad that people make fun of her because some of her like fillers and things have not aged well. And like that's the only way she shows remorse, is the idea that some people actually are now making her feel bad for some of the decisions that she's made. She shows no remorse for all the damage that she has done to underage girls. Now, do I have a problem with Kim and the influence that Kim has had? And do I think Kim is just as fake and whatever? Yes. I still think Kylie is worse to me because of the influence she had on young girls and how damaging that actually was and how blatantly misleading it was. I also find it really frustrating that when the skinny talk girls, or like the people that are saying that the body positivity movement was glorifying obesity or all this kind of stuff, and like finally skinny is in again, which is like insane because skinny was never out. The Kardashians, even with their BBLs and their boob jobs and everything, were still promoting waist trainers. They were still promoting diet pills and those slimming teas, and being skinny in the right places at certain points were always the beauty standard. So don't come to me with like, oh, thank God skinny is now the beauty standard. Sometimes I find this whole argument between like the skinny talk and like the BBL community to be insane, because it's literally just women being like, can we be okay with having a big butt, or can we be okay with having a small butt? When it's like, your butt's your butt. Doesn't matter. Like, love your butt at any size. And some of us with natural big boobs, we just sit back and we're not in this conversation, because having large natural boobs, never the beauty standard. Never. Having larger implants sometimes are in, and having smaller boobs, like when you want to be skinnier and leaner and straight up and down, like that's a trend. Having large natural boobs, never the beauty standard. Ever. I would like it to be at one point just in my lifetime, just so I can enjoy being the beauty standard for like at least like one short period of time. I don't think I'll ever get that, because it's no way that like the media or the big corporations can actually make a lot of money on like women with like really large natural boobs, but whatever. I'll just let the girls with the big butts and the small butts just fight it out if you want. Again, I've said this in other videos. I firmly believe that plastic surgery is just body mutilation. It is. It's dangerous because anytime you have a medical procedure, it's dangerous. So if you're just getting elective surgeries and opening yourself up to the dangers, it's self-harm. It's body mutilation is really what it is. Most plastic surgeries are repeat surgeries. It's very rare for someone to get one plastic surgery and just be happy with the one plastic surgery. I'm pretty sure like rhinoplasties are the most common surgery to have redone, because shocker, when you mess with one part of your face, it tends to not look right with the rest of your face, and you end up having to get either that altered again or other parts of your face redone or things like that. BBLs are notoriously the most dangerous plastic surgery. People do die of them or have a lot of serious complications. Part of the issue, again, with this argument about like, should celebrities, you know, hide the surgeries or should they disclose them, and the fact that they get criticism for disclosing them, they're normalizing the plastic surgery. I literally saw a video the other day of this girl, this young girl who's beautiful. She's a beautiful, beautiful young girl, was talking about she was getting ready to go on a vacation, and she was debating whether or not she wanted to get a BBL to look good on her vacation. You're actually debating whether you're going to have a potentially life-threatening surgery just to look a certain way in a bikini to go on vacation. Have a vacation. Enjoy your vacation. You should not be going on a vacation worried about how your butt looks. Can we please stop telling women they have to look a certain way in order to enjoy their life? Because I can tell you, as a 45-year-old woman who has obsessed over physical appearance, over diets, over fitness trends, over beauty trends, over her body and how she looked. And I tell people all the time, I never learned to swim because I was always so self-conscious in a swimsuit. I would not wear a swimsuit. I never learned to swim. There's so many aspects of my life, so many things in my life that I missed out on because I obsessed so much about how my body looked, about you know, what I was comfortable in and what I would wear and whether or not I could eat the things that other people were eating if I went out to eat. Like, the obsession will take over your life. And I don't want you to be like me, especially if you're a young girl listening to this, or even if you're not, even if you're my age. Like, it took me till 45 to actually wake up to how much of my life I missed out on because I obsessed over my appearance so much. It's exhausting. You're gonna wake up. You know, all these girls that are obsessed with plastic surgeries, or even the ones that are obsessed with the skinny talk culture or whatever, you're gonna wake up one day and you're gonna realize how much of your life you wasted obsessing over your physical appearance. Like, please stop this idea that, like, I'll live my life or enjoy my life when I get the BBL, or I'll enjoy my life when I get the boob job, or the nose job, or the upper left, or the buccal fat removal. Like, please stop telling yourself that you will, you know, start your life or live your life or enjoy your life once you get this kind of like ridiculous surgery that I guarantee you don't need, because you're probably absolutely stunningly beautiful as you are. And I'm not saying this to tell you to not be healthy, not live a healthy life at all, because I know people are going to come to me and glorifying obesity. I'm not. I'm just telling you, if your obsession with how you look becomes a barrier to just enjoying your life, oh my God, you are going to look back and you are going to regret that so much. And I mean, I know some of it's genetics. I know people don't like when I say it's genetics, but some of it is genetics. I stand by the fact that I am 45 years old. I have no Botox, no fillers. I've had no plastic surgeries of any kind. I don't have any wrinkles. I know a lot of 20-year-old girls that I look at and go, wow, she looks a lot older than me, because she's already gotten a lot of work done. Like, it will age you. And this idea of preventative Botox to me is like insane. Like, it's absolutely insane. And again, I know people are gonna be like, well, you have makeup on, you have this. I have a video where I have my skincare routine and I have my makeup routine here on YouTube. If you wanna check that out, and you can see my face completely makeup free, filter free, and everything. You can see what it looks like. Never had preventative Botox. I can tell you, if you want the best skincare tip, again, from somebody who's 45 years old with no wrinkles and who has never had Botox, fillers, surgery of any kind, I can tell you my absolute best tip. You know, the best like preventative Botox is living a healthy lifestyle, just being healthy. And I know there's gonna be people that are gonna argue with me, you don't look healthy, you're not skinny, you don't look healthy. I don't smoke. Never have. Barely drank. I wouldn't say I was always ideal with getting enough sleep, but I always tried to get enough sleep. I eat very clean. Don't eat the junk food. Cut out soy. I know seed oils and stuff and that whole thing, it's become like a right-wing propaganda thing. I cut out soy long before it became political, and I will tell you, it will change your life completely, because soy massively messes with your hormones. Cleared up my acne like nothing else, and I tried everything to clear up my acne. Cutting out soy will change your life. I'm all for making good lifestyle choices. When you do that, you don't need the surgeries, the treatments, the fillers, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it is possible for you to age naturally by just taking care of your body. Yeah, the normalization of plastic surgeries, especially among young girls, is terrifying to me. And it's not even just the fact that these girls are just mutilating their bodies to fit a beauty standard that isn't even based in natural beauty anymore. It's like where this is going. Like, it's gonna go further. And again, I'm gonna put my conspiracy theory hat on for a second, and you can tell me I'm crazy if you want to. I don't care, because I'm never wrong about these things. I firmly believe that the normalization of plastic surgeries and the fact that it has gotten to the point where we're not even trying to achieve a natural beauty, it's women that are actually getting these plastic surgeries to look like unnatural bodies. Like, they're intended to not look like a human body. They're intended to look like, I mean, like the nose jobs don't look natural anymore. They literally look like weird, like elf doll noses that don't even look like real noses. If you have a cute little nose, I'm not knocking you, okay? Because I know I'm gonna get people that are gonna be like, I have a natural elf nose. You can spot these nose jobs a mile away. When you have, obviously, implants don't look like the real thing, these BBLs that don't, you have these women that, like, their bodies are set to look like corsets, but it's just their skin, because they've been like lipoed so, and like their skin has been pulled so tight that their bodies don't actually even move like women's bodies are intended to move. All of these things that are intended to look like sex dolls, basically, cartoons or something. It's the destruction of women. It is. I mean, you're literally trying to condition society to see natural women, like real women, as being ugly, as being the problem, which basically invites AI women into the conversation, female sex dolls and things, and you can't tell me that it's a coincidence that those things are happening, as well as the increase in manosphere content, the increase in, you know, incels that are hating on women, and the programming in the media for, you know, young boys to be addicted to porn. So they need women to get their sexual frustration out on, but they hate women because they're being programmed to hate women. And you cannot tell me that there isn't a correlation here with this idea of trying to essentially eliminate real human women and trying to normalize these AI or, you know, robotic women. Because I mean, the number of times that you hear like young boys will see a woman who may have a very natural looking body, and I'm not talking about obesity, I'm not talking about women who are in an unhealthy weight range, but women that have like a natural normal body, and people are like disgusted by it now. Like people are like, oh my god, why does she have a belly pooch? Because women are designed to have belly pooches. We are. Women are not designed to have six packs. We're not. Women are not designed to have a low enough body fat so you can see a rib cage. We're not designed for that as women. That's the reason why most women, when they get that thin, even like fitness competitors and things like that, as women that get that thin, they tend to lose their menstrual cycles, because we're not designed for that. We're not. If you are literally obsessed with women looking a way that is completely unnatural, you have a problem with women, and you need to work on that. And I think as a society, it's starting to get scary. And it's the celebrities and the influencers that are getting the surgeries. They're called influencers for a reason. They influence people, and especially young women, and especially with young women being so vulnerable, and, you know, the massive increase in body dysmorphia and stuff, like it's only gonna get worse. And yeah, so this is my little rant about plastic surgery culture. And again, I know there's a lot of celebrities we can't win. We can't win. If we don't tell you, we get, you know, you get mad. If we tell you, you get mad. What we want you to do is stop doing it. That's what we want you to do. And honestly, like, you see so many of these women that are getting these plastic surgeries, and you see their before. In some cases you see it before and you're like, yeah, okay, I can kind of see where she would feel self-conscious about that. So many cases you see a woman's before and you're like, I saw somebody one time that said if you actually look at like old photos of Megan Fox, like her high school photos, like before she got famous and before she started getting plastic surgery and stuff, like it's actually criminal that she would even like mess with her face, because she was so gorgeous before. And you know, I've said this before, I actually think we need to stop calling women that have had these plastic surgeries beautiful or attractive, gorgeous, or anything like that. Like, I think we need to stop that, because it's normalizing that look as being what's attractive. So yeah, that's my rant. And I know I'm probably getting a lot of people, you're just jealous because you don't look like them. I could look like them too if I was just willing to have the surgery. It's not an accomplishment to look good with plastic surgery. It's not like a prize or anything. Like, it's, I mean, if anything, looking good without plastic surgery is actually more of a skill. It's more of a talent. It's more of a gift. I mean, some people are just, you know, have won the genetic lottery, but like, plastic surgery isn't an accomplishment. It's not an achievement. And it should never be seen as an achievement. So that was my rant about plastic surgery. I know there are a lot of reasons why women get plastic surgery. It's not all for male validation, but a lot of it is. You are finding yourself getting caught up in the need for male validation, and maybe not just an individual male, but in general, society as a whole. I highly recommend you check out my Recovering Pick Me Girl guided journal. There is a chapter in here about body image as well, and you can do a lot of healing work on yourself to heal the parts of yourself that are so in desperate need of that validation. Also, my Dark Feminine Energy guided journal, which really helps you tap into like your feminine power. So I highly recommend you check those out. Details in the description box below, along with links to courses, masterclasses, and all my social media links. If you have any thoughts on this topic or any other topics you want me to discuss, I do have some videos coming talking about my weight loss journey and healing my binge eating and food noise and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to work on those because I have had a lot of requests. I'm finally at a point where I feel like I'm ready to talk about it, so I'm gonna be making some content around that soon. But if you have any other topics, I'm kind of shifting my focus a little bit to more like body image and things like that. So if you want me to make any videos on certain topics about that, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I love to hear from you, and I love your video suggestions. Enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, and be sure you subscribe to my channel. Honestly, any engagement on this channel really does help boost the videos in the algorithm so more people can get this message. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time.